Hey, it's Travis, and in this video you're going to see Honey's very first training session. Now, up until this point, we've worked on the foundations of training, which is primarily loading the mark, which is that yes reward command, and moving them around and getting them used to us manipulating them to get the positions that we want them to be. So in this very first training session, we're going to learn the touch or place command. I kind of messed up and say place first, but then I decided to change it to touch, because this is going to be a working dog. She's going to have different commands later, so I decided to go with the touch command instead. So here you see me luring her with the food and giving the touch command, and then she gets up there. As soon as she's up there, I say yes, and I mark it, which is that conditioned response. So it's kind of funny. She's never been on this thing before, so she slides off, and it's quite entertaining. And you're going to have to excuse the bald spot and this awkward wave to the neighbor pulling it, but here she kind of shows interest into the distraction, which is the car driving by, but immediately gets her head back in the game, which is really awesome for such a young dog. So I give her a release command. The only time I correct her, you'll see, is when she jumps on me and was with a slight bump with the knee. Other than that, there is no corrections. But you can see how energetic and focused she is with this game. She looks happy, she looks cheerful, and that's what we want with our working dogs. We don't want them to look like they've been beaten and abused, and that all comes from the foundations of training. We want the dog to affiliate and associate obedience with good feelings. So here you see me lure her into a down position. I didn't give it a command or anything. I'm just getting her accustomed to that. But I give her the place, and also you'll notice that I'm using her name, which is Honey. This is the first time we've really worked with her name as Honey. So I'm using that as a recall. So if she's out running around the yard or something, and you say Honey, she's expected to come, running towards you, because that is the here, come command. But once again, we go back into the luring onto the touch command, releasing with the Honey. So instead of giving the release command here, which is free, which means you're free to do whatever you want, I'm just saying Honey and bringing her. So I'm teaching her a recall and a send away in essence. So here she comes in, I drop the food, so she loses it. She turns around to look for the piece of food she dropped earlier, and I call her right back into it. So in this training session, not only are we working the foundation of training, which is marking, luring, and engaging the dog, we're also working the touch command and building that up as a send away, as well as her name as being a recall. So we're fitting a lot in this training session here. But you'll see me lure her in a sit, lure her in a down, and it's quite entertaining to watch such a smart dog. She is an amazing dog to work with. You have to realize that she's still a young pup, and she hasn't done any real hard obedience yet. So we'll just keep watching, and then I'll free her in a little bit and take her for a little loose leash walk, and then we come back and do some more training.
Honey, yes, good girl. Good girl. Touch.
And here I start giving her the touch command without luring her a few times here and there to see if she's really picking up on the command. And you'll see here in a few times that she actually does. I'll say touch, she'll run and touch, and it's pretty awesome to see a dog do that kind of thing on its very first training session.
Honey, yes, good girl.
Now, normally for young puppies, we do a lot of short sessions. I'm talking 3 to 5 minutes each. This is kind of a longer session because she's so energetic and she's so into training right now. So we're kind of stretching it out. Also, we have to realize that she's teething. She just started teething. She started to lose her puppy teeth. So we don't want to do a lot of rag work and tug work and bite work, things like that. So it's a really good time to really get them focused back on to dog training. Also, I'm using cut up food logs. They're softer and they're cut into tinier pieces, so that way she can eat, swallow, and get right back in training. If you use hard treats, you're going to notice that they take a bite and then you have to sit there for seconds and seconds and seconds while they chomp and chew and then eat it. These is pretty quick. They chew a few times, they swallow, and they're ready to go. So having soft treats, especially during teething, obviously, is really crucial to obedience training as rewards. Now, as she gets older, I'm going to transition from food to a tug, which is going to be the reward, which is going to be the paycheck.
Honey! Yes, good girl. That's, yes.
So you can see her tail wagging, her ears pop up here and there, and she's really enjoying obedience training, and that's what we really want to focus on at this point.
Yes, good girl.
And you see how she just bounds to the touch command.
Yes, good girl.
We lure into a down. We lure into another down.
No.
She jumps up, and once again I correct her.
Touch.
But there's no corrections with
good girl.
obedience training. Now with obedience training, you have to realize there's 3 phases. There's the learning, understanding, and then it comes the final phase, which is the adversive phase, which is commanding. So we want them to learn what the commands are, what the movements are. Once they learn that, they are showing signs of understanding, that's when we're going to start adding corrections. Because we want them to understand why they're getting corrected, which is not obeying. So here I take her for a little loose walk. Her feet are awfully tender on the rocks, so I move back into, you see her kind of like limping. We move to the grass and we just kind of walk around a little bit. But I lure her a little bit into a heel position. I mark and reward. So we're also adding a little bit of heel. We're not going to focus on it a whole lot. I just wanted to get her walking around, being more engaged with the environment a little bit. See the squirrels running like she did just there, and kind of keep going. But that's why I love Malinois. Their ears pop up. They're really alertive. So, and we come right back into the touch command.
Touch.
But here you see it takes very little luring. Sometimes I have to point. Sometimes I just say the word and she jumps on up. But smart dog, amazing dog. First training session. I can't wait till the numerous sessions we're going to have. We'll be working on this with the next couple days. The next video, I'll show her progress on this training, and we'll be adding the down command and other types of commands like that as well. So enjoy.
Touch. Yes, good girl. Honey. Yes, good girl. Touch. Touch. Yes, good girl. Here. Good girl. Honey. Yes, good girl. Free. All done. All done. Good.